now we got another topic, of course. Who's the GOAT between Nick Saban and Bear Bryant?
Oh, I'm not going there. Different eras. No, I met Coach Bryant. I stood right there and got his autograph. Still have it. And I ain't going there. Different generations. There's no comparison. But I'll tell you what. You know what the same thing is about what they share. What those two guys share in common is they did it their way. They didn't give a flip. And then, remember now, Jack, I told you, if you're going to be successful, that's what we talked about DeBoer early. If you're going to be successful at Alabama, you got to be a hard ass.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to go down there and say, hey, I don't care about you people with the money. I don't care about, wanting to buy influence and that kind of stuff. I'm doing it my way. Those are the only ones that are going to be successful at Alabama. And those two guys did it their way. And you can throw Gene Stallings in that same vein right there. Now, Coach Perkins, I really don't know. He left and he had that pro, whatever mentality, like he did like Saban at LSU and left, for the Miami Dolphins. And then, he left Alabama and went to Tampa Bay. So that kind of stuff. But I think Mike Shula fell prey, Mike Price, whatever with him, and then the comedy of just rolling, whatever. I don't, but Saban and Coach Bryant stood. Coach Saban, I shouldn't say Saban, but Coach Saban and Coach Bryant, they stood their ground and my way or the highway.
Yeah. Yeah, because, we look back at, like, the Bears' accomplishments, which, it was amazing what he did at not just Alabama, but what he did at Alabama as a player in the 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I think he played with a broken leg against Tennessee. Like that was, wow.
Yeah, legend has it. And that, but yeah, those two guys, you know what I think? Those if they happen to bump into each other at the same moment in time, which coulda, woulda, maybe. I'd like for somebody to ask Coach Saban if he ever met Coach Bryant, but those two guys would have been good friends.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Those Belichick, I don't know enough about Coach Belichick to throw that in the mix. So anyway, but I think those two guys, Coach Bryant and Saban, and the GOAT, both of them in their generation, they were the greatest. I don't like the all time. Time keeps clicking by, so we can't say of all time, of their generation. That kind of, but I wouldn't go there. I've seen them both. Maybe a lot of these viewers, they weren't around when Coach Bryant was around and didn't know the aura and how people perceived him the way people perceive Coach Saban today. But they were great. He was great, and both of them, I wouldn't dare go there.
Yeah. Well, Chris Camp says Saban's got the nod. I was born in 1979, so I was too young to really witness the Bear era. I didn't start watching football. I really understand it till I was 5. I think it was the 1985 Orange Bowl. Was told to choose. I chose Bama. Like, go. And, if you want like a Cliff's Notes on the Bear Bryant era, Chris Camp, you can always go on YouTube and find the national championship era from the Bear Bryant era for Alabama football, where you see Keith Jackson talking about it, like how Alabama football was in 60s, 70s, all that stuff. It's a classic.
Jack, and maybe next week we can pull it up. But Jack, the best illustration of how Coach Saban and Coach Bryant were the same, or seem to be the same, is if anybody out there wants to see it in action, they need to go to YouTube and type a clip of Coach Bryant being interviewed by, it was a female reporter that was asking him, it was halftime. about the game and what he was doing and why and all this other kind of stuff. And to see Coach Bryant's response. Have you ever seen that video?
Yeah, the 1982 Iron Bowl.
And see, and you see, Coach, we need to put a link on that. And there's you a Saban Bryant comparison, and they are one and the same. I could
Yeah.
see Coach. I've seen Coach Saban do the same thing. I felt sorry for that lady, but you tell her, hey,
Yeah.
I wasn't having any of that.
Oh yeah, 'cause I think it was around like the 2018 kickoff between Alabama and Louisville. Sorry, Austin, but that was so funny. That post game, video where Saban's just like letting the reporter have it, and he's like, "Oh, he told me this." It's like, what you think was gonna happen?
Yeah. So maybe
no.
next week we can find that link and show it and continue the dialogue about the GOAT, because I mean, when's the induction?
The College Football Hall of Fame induction will be Wednesday. It will be released on College Football Live on ESPN2.
Well, let's show it. We'll show it next week, and we'll say, hey, we got two of the GOATs at Alabama. Those little statues out in front of the, Bryant Denny. Hey, hey, we can do. I'll do it. I'll find that one to Coach Bryant, and I'll find one with Coach Saban, and let you and you tell me why they're the GOATs.
Oh wow, I didn't think about this stat until just now. So the 4 Heisman Trophy winners that Nick Saban had on his roster, that was the most of any coach in college football history, tied with former Notre Dame head coach Frank Leahy.
Leahy.
They all sound like it's like why do you have a lay? Like, good grief! It's like, are you?
That's all the way I always heard it. Leahy, Frank Leahy.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
anyway, I won't get.
When you get to the old school stuff, I'm your dog.
There you go, Leahy.
Everybody talking about Leahy.
It's like, oh my god, Frank Leahy. Like that's pretty cool though. That Saban has the same amount of Heisman Trophy winners as Frank Leahy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's huge. Well, we talked about
the thing about Heisman Trophy winners, you got to observe one talent, and then you got to observe character. You're not going to win the Heisman Trophy if you don't have character. You know what I'm saying? There's some character behind it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you go through that list right there, and you're going to find a list of a lot of high character individuals. If you're going to be the best of the best, not only does it take skill, it takes character.
Yeah. Agreed.